Hey guys, this is Justin Kovelka and here for a new episode of Cribs Rodent Edition. Hope you guys enjoy. I'm going to give you guys a quick tour of the new building. We've been putting a lot of work into it and we're really happy with how it turned out. Check it out.
That's what we become. That's what we become.
All right, so coming in here, one of the first things you'll see here is we have the fans. And we have two, these are 3-foot fans. They're extremely powerful and they got louvers on the outside to keep the rain out. They're both blowing out. And so the question I've gotten already was, why 2 fans? 2 fans because it allows us to have one of them on a timer. So when it's cold out, well, first of all, I'll talk about the thermostat. We have one on a thermostat that's only going to turn on if it's below a certain temperature. So we don't want, sucking all the warm air out of this room when it's really brutally cold outside, right? So we have this one on a thermostat, but even in the winter, they need exchanges of fresh air. They need fresh air all the time. Rats, they're very smelly, and the smell in the room gets to be a lot. So that's where the timer one comes in. I can set this timer so in the winter, it's on basically 5 minutes an hour or 5 minutes every 20 minutes. I can set it exactly the way I want it. So it's kicking on and off, keeping the air clean and exchanged without just destroying all the heat in the winter. So that's why we have both things. Now in the summer, we're going to turn this always on, and we're going to turn the other one always on so that we can accomplish cool air all the time. So that's the fans. They're fantastic. It's like a wind tunnel in here when they're both coming. When they're both going, it's really amazing. I'll go ahead and give you a pan here. So what we did is the air is coming in the other end of the room. Okay, so instead of swirling it around the room or bringing it in the sides, when these fans are on, it is sucking completely through all the racks. So air conditioning in a rodent situation is usually a lose-lose because you have to exhaust the air and you're basically getting rid of all the nice cold air that you've created in the room. So instead of doing air conditioning, we are just pulling it through like wind. Rodents sweat a little bit when it gets warm, and so if you can bring a nice breeze across them, it allows them to thermoregulate themselves during the summer. So in the summer, when those fans kick on, those louvers at the end open up and it just sucks air. It's going to suck air through all the racking. And we'll give you guys a video after we get all the racking in too. Over here on the wall, we have a big roll-up door. This is just to accomplish that we can roll the racks out and bring them out on the pad and pressure wash them when needed. We needed something that was bigger than a regular door so that we can roll the racks in and out with no problem at all. So that's a really awesome feature. Right next to it, we have the water system. So we're trying to get water to the entire room, dropping down into each rack. So we bring in the water in. What happens is it comes up and it goes through a doser. This allows us to put in a teeny tiny bit of chlorine into the water that allows all the water lines to not grow algae and clog up on us. So this puts it in the parts per million. We can set it exactly the way we want it, and it will keep it nice and clean, keep all the water lines clean so there's no clogs. If you do not use something like this, eventually, especially in warm weather, you're going to get algae growth in your lines and it'll clog the nozzles and you'll have lots of floods. After it leaves the doser, it goes back in the system and goes through a pressure reducer. This basically means if we have a leak, that pressure is going to be reduced so that it's a slow leak. We don't have it coming out at the speed of the tap coming in. From there, it comes into a complete rectangular system that is completely enclosed. That way, we don't have air bubbles that flows around without having trapped air anywhere. And it comes out these nozzles. We can plug the rodent rack directly into the nozzle to provide water, and we can cut them off individually as needed. We put them every 4 feet, so we can put the racks exactly where we need them in an efficient manner. The walls are lined with metal. The main reason here is for twofold. First of all, it keeps them from potentially any escapees chewing through into the walls and causing issues. If The other thing is it's very, very cleanable. That's the main reason. We can spray them down. We can sweep them down with an air compressor or whatever we need to do. And we also go ahead and do it on the ceiling for the same reason. We coated the floors with a water sealer. The main reason we did that is because it makes the floors so they're not absorbent. It really helps with the cleanup a lot. It also keeps it from staining. But the main reason is during the winter months when the humidity is really low, we're going to be running a humidifier in here likely because it helps to keep the rodents' respiratory systems healthy when it's really, really, really dry. So what happens in this sort of room if you don't put a sealer on the floor is that concrete is constantly sucking all the humidity out of the room. And so we put a sealer on it so that we can keep humidity, keep this room where we want it during the winter months. We have a sink here, a little bit of our staging area where you still have to get all this set up. We just started messing with it. We got our gloves and our paper towels and all that. Right here, this is the propane blower. So this is going to blow the heat in during the winter. Now during the winter, what ends up happening is when the heat comes in, it ends up getting trapped up in the ceiling. So we'll probably have some fans that are facing down, but also to combat that, we are going to close off these end shutters during the winter, and when the fans kick in, they'll be sucking the air through these. Okay, so what these are going to do is instead of pulling air through the end, they're going to pull the air out of the ceiling and drop the air down from the top down, which will knock down and mix the air. So we have 2 of these vents in the room, and they'll be only used in the winter, but should provide a good mix and make it so that we don't have a real hot ceiling and a cold floor during the winter. But that's propane. That's on a generator that's going to kick in as well. Just the blower part of it will be on a generator that'll have uninterruptible power. It'll be gas generator. So that's that. This rodent room will be about 2 times the capacity. During most months, we're able to actually produce enough rodents to feed our collection, but there are some times during peak times, especially with all the babies, that we are not able to produce enough to make it work. And so this room will fix that. In fact, most of the year we'll likely have way more rodents than we need, and they can be sold to help defray the costs of the food and labor and all that. Hey guys, thanks for watching. We really enjoyed giving you this tour. It's something we've been working on for a long time, and so it's really fun to share with you guys. We're going to do another video once we get everything moved in. We're going to show you what it looks like and how we kind of set up the workflow. And at some point we may even do a video showing what an actual day cleaning and working in here is like, so that you can see maybe how you can make some improvements to your system if you're doing something similar. You know, one of the rough parts about breeding snakes in general is just dealing with rodents. And so anything we can do to make it a little easier, a little better for the rodents, a little better for the snakes is just great. Hope you guys enjoyed it for sure. Be sure to like and subscribe so you can see all the other videos we make. We appreciate your support.
That's what we become. That's what we